Glasgow's Southside-Central ward is one of the most diverse in the city, from the new build flats to the new Gorbals, to Pollock Shields sandstone mansions, and a host of world-class community facilities, like the tramway, and Torry Glen Regional Football Centre, and Govan Hill Community Baths Trust. Oatlands is in the midst of a £220 million regeneration project, which will see the area completely transformed. We took a tour round with Ian Baird from Bet Homes and Ron Smith from Glasgow City Council. So, how much did the development cost?
The whole project is it's an investment of £220 million, ultimately. To date, the company has spent £25 million on infrastructure and cross-subsidy for the social housing. The
people who were here before, it was about 170 families.
Roughly 170 families, which we were required by the council's brief to rehouse and to enable us to actually do all the infrastructure work that we've now done. We really had to rehouse people at any rate so that we could then demolish the old council houses that they were living in, and quite clearly everybody's moved into brand new homes and they're all delighted with the homes.
Early in the evolution of proposals for Oatlands, we consulted the local community about what sort of character they would like the area to have, and they said quite strongly they felt it should have a kind of Glasgow or Scottish look. Another thing that arose through the process of design was the idea of a theme colour that came through. It was originally specified only in relation to things like lampposts and so on, but eventually the deep blue, the Oatlands blue exactly, has been adopted as a theme colour for the area, and people can identify their area from that.
Pollock Shields is one of the most sought-after residential areas in Glasgow, and last year its qualities were recognised on the international stage, with the area nominated for an Academy of Urbanism Award.
I think today it's now viewed as the first planned garden suburb anywhere in the United Kingdom, so it's certainly very unique in the whole United Kingdom, and for the Academy of Urbanism to recognise that, particularly in its 150th anniversary, which we celebrate this year.
So one of the things that really makes a community is having local people who are willing to get involved and make changes in the area. So what kind of groups are there in Pollock Shields?
Well, one of the great things about Pollock Shields is the number of community groups. For example, we're here at the St Andrews Drive Deck Access Flats, where there's a really active community group. Their main concern was obviously the housing. As you can see, the housing isn't very good. This is the only social housing in Pollock Shields, but the community group have been very active, working with the GHA and the council and the local housing association, and there's now plans in place to improve the housing.
Neighbouring Govan Hill is known as an area of extreme deprivation, but at Annette Street Primary School, staff are working hard to make sure pupils, who come from 10 different countries, get the best possible start in life. So one of the first things you notice when you come to Annette Street is all the different accents that you hear. How do you manage to bring such a diverse group of children together?
We encourage the children to work together in groups. We encourage children who have a good grasp of English language to be models for the children who are not yet fluent in English. We have a very inclusive policy within the school, and we welcome everybody here. We value first language, and the children are very interested in learning about each other's cultures and about the languages that they use.
Do you know how many different languages you have spoken in the school and how many different nationalities you have?
We have children from Slovakia, Romania. We have many children with a Pakistani background. We have children from Malaysia, and I think that's it.
It's pretty diverse.
It is very diverse, yes.
The £15.7 million Torry Glen Football Centre, which is used by SPL teams and local groups, opened in April 2009 and is hailed as a benchmark for Scotland's sporting facilities. How important is the centre to Glasgow? What kind of benefits is it having?
Well, it's hugely important. We spent £17 million building this, facility. It's the first indoor 11-a-side football pitch in Scotland. It's used by yes, a lot of community organisations and sports clubs in Glasgow, but it's used by people from across the west of Scotland for training. We have professional clubs come here and train during the bad weather and in the winter time, but we also have a whole variety of sports clubs and just people playing for fun coming and using the facility. So it's all part of our agenda to promote healthy lifestyles, and participating in sport is one way to do that.
Tramway, an arts venue in Pollokshields, hosts everything from visual art to theatre, music and family days.
For us to be successful, we have a reputation internationally, but we absolutely want local people to be part of that and to get something quite unique from having us on their doorstep and contributing to that. So some of the things that we've been specifically looking at recently, an example would be our family days. So the family days started off as finding a way to respond to our big international contemporary art exhibitions or our theatre programme, but finding a way to just make that more accessible, to open it up and make the building feel less intimidating, particularly for families who maybe weren't used to using it. So what we've done with that is we've created 4 family days a year, and each one is focused around a very particular art form.
Environmental charity Urban Roots works on a diverse range of projects in and around Hoary Glen, from community gardens to education work in schools.
So for gardening, there's 2 volunteer teams a week. There's a Tuesday team and a Wednesday team, and anyone's welcome to come and get involved from Hoary Glen and surrounding areas. So you can come from Govan Hill or Mount Florida, Kings Park, wherever. And it's basically growing as much food as we possibly can using organic methods. And the produce that's grown is taken home by volunteers at no cost at all.
So Billy, how long have you been involved with Urban Roots?
Well, I only started in January this year because the reason I started was because last year I live alone, I was sick of staying in the house, virtually with nothing to do. No jobs, looking for jobs, no jobs anywhere, as everyone knows. So I come down here every Tuesday and Thursday, and it's great just meeting new people and builds my confidence and that up.
Govan Hill Community Baths Trust has been working for 10 years to raise the funds needed to reopen the area's Edwardian Baths as a community centre. We're coming up on the 10th anniversary of the campaign to save the baths. What is it that's kept you going this long and made you so determined to see the baths regenerated?
Well, I think one of the biggest things that's kept people going is the fact that these baths have been here for nigh on 100 years, and such was the strength of feeling from all parts of the community, the diversity in Govan Hill as well now. And people decided, no, we're keeping hold of this, we're not letting go.
It's going to bring a much needed facility. Govan Hill is one of the most congested communities, not just in Scotland, but Britain. It has some of the worst health statistics. But it's a place deprived of any real recreational and social areas. We have our parks, but there's very little to do in the parks in winter. And swimming is the most popular participatory sport in Britain. And when this place was open, it was packed. It was packed. And since then, and we know from a lot of people involved in the campaign, a lot of people have stopped engaging in any form of exercise. And in fact, since this building is closed in the 10 years, the health statistics around here have got worse. So we know that when this building's open, it's going to be very well used.